subject lines. Sorry, folks, we're going back and forth. Here we go. And that is our beginning here. Derek Freund, we had just a bit of technical. Welcome, everybody, for this program here. Derek Freund, Rogue Marketing Systems, Constant Contact. This is a presentation I really enjoy uh, through this form of media. Hopefully, you've been on some of our webinars before. My business is Rogue Marketing Systems. I am a Constant Contact ALE. I've been speaking for Constant Contact since 2010, so I guess that makes me a dinosaur now in the business. Part of what we do, and you'll learn more about that, is acting as a coach. So part of a coaching question is, did you get better today? And that's something I want you to think about today. We're going to go quickly through this material. We don't have time for a lot of questions. I want to jump ahead for some of the questions that people will have, and then you will all have an opportunity to speak with me one-on-one so we can address specific information here. But this is my contact information here, and you will have the opportunity to get this complete presentation if you stay till the end as a bonus. So anything we go through here, you will be able to see for yourself. Part of what we do is surround yourself with those people who are on the same mission. I'm speaking to you from high atop my second floor mastermind hideout when I'm not out speaking publicly. This is where the thinking gets done. This is where I mastermind. This is where we work on people's business. So welcome for joining me today and to learn more about your business. We have another webinar called The Reckoning. Now, this is not specifically about email marketing. This is a whole different way, direct response marketing, and that's going to be coming up in a few days. So when we're done here, if you want to go over to my website, Rogue Marketing Systems, you can sign up for that if you're interested in learning more about bigger, broader concepts of the 5 pillars of marketing, 10 biggest breakthroughs in business life, etc. It's a great program. I'm very proud of it. Today, you will have the opportunity to forever change the way you think and profit about marketing. This is about constant contact, but I want you to think bigger and more creatively. Some of the I talk a lot with my hands, so there's some presentations which I call our plumbing conversations. They're the technical component of, are things linked right? Are they backed? Are they mobile friendly? Are they technical in nature? There's others that are creative in nature, and standout subject lines is a creative conversation. So I'm not a technical person. I'm more of a creative person. You want to get the technical things right, and I've got some people on my staff who do a great job with that. I can usually talk people through that and make complex things simple. But at the end of the day, it is all about teamwork here. I come from an athletic, let me go back to that here for a moment. I come from an athletic background. This is at a CrossFit competition. But see, I have a distinct advantage. I'm about twice the age of these guys here. So I've been doing this a lot longer. And so, they get to say, you have, their compliment is, Derek, you have old man strength. And I go, yeah, I'm ahead of you sometimes for now. One time I had an old guy, master salesperson. He says, why should I listen to you about new and different marketing strategies and multiplying my sales and profits? So let me give you a little bit of my background. I am a professional speaker and an author. I enjoy this, whether I speak in front of hundreds of people or a small group. I get a thrill out of doing this. I publish my material in books. I own my own business, just like some of you. I know actually we have some nonprofit and academic. We've got a couple schools. We've got business people and entrepreneurs, but I know today we have a couple schools down in Florida. I'm a graduate of Florida International University myself, and from that fine state. I grew up in Michigan and doing this conversation from Michigan. But the fact is, as an entrepreneur, this material has to work. It has to work for my business, and it has to work for my clients, or I would be out of business very, very quick. This is what we do. The number is 156. I think it's closer to 170 now, but different business and different business categories. We train others to be self-sufficient, do-it-yourself marketers. We provide low-cost, customized campaigns. Sometimes this is a coaching program if somebody wants to get started fast and move on. And ultimately, my job is as an outsourced chief marketing officer. This information has been written up, published, Crane's Detroit Business. Oftentimes, there's people out there espousing themselves to be experts, but really, I don't know, some of them I think are working in their mom's basement or doing whatever, and it's just fabricated, made up concepts that sound good in their head, but they're not actually proven. Marketing or any of this material is not generally intuitive. I had to learn the hard way. Before I learned a better way, I was often broke. This is from a newsletter here. Now, I graduated in high school in 1985, and they did have color pictures then, but this is from an old newsletter. And then this is 20 years ago when I first started my consulting business, and comparatively, I have a baby face there. Mentors and motivators are tremendously important. We all need to stand on the shoulders of giants. I've certainly had the benefit of doing that. One of my mentors is a best-selling New York Times copywriter, is Dan Kennedy, and his No BS series. That book, The Ultimate Success Secret, is available on our website for free. Another one here is the Book of Marketing. This is a whole broad definition of terms. This is, if you read into this, you'll find out a lot more, but this is an unadvertised bonus. If you text Rogue, that's ROGUE, to 22828, you will get a download of this entire book, over 600 terms, definitions. By the way, we already have your information and this is already available, but this is a side bonus. It's also an important object lesson. That text to join tool is part of your constant contact, is part of your constant contact account. It does not cost any extra to have it. It is a great way to supply information. It can be an interview, it can be an infographic, it can be material that you've curated. So use that as an object lesson, both to get this valuable material in digital format, but more specifically to see another tool that you can use. Excuse me, got to get my voice warmed up. Ron Cates was another super motivator. He is a grandfather in email marketing and social media pioneer. He wrote me a nice testimonial talking about me being a badass marketer. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that. And I do have a promise today. During my presentation, you will have the opportunity, if you act on it either today or tomorrow, to get $300 worth of applied business. This is where either me or my staff will actually help you work on your business to get you from point A to point B. We'll have more information about that at the end of the presentation. So email is hard to beat. Why are you here? And let's look at the concepts here for being able to do this. And then we're going to roll up our sleeves in terms of standout subject lines. 91% of US adults receive promotional emails from companies they do business with. So if you're just starting off, if you're already in business, this is where people are at. There's no other media that is as commonly used as this form of media. 138% more on emails offer. What this is really saying is once you've had the first purchase with somebody, typically the second purchase is 38% more. People are very conservative on the first initial purchase, but when the seal has been broken, they will spend more. So follow up, very, very important. Subject lines can get your email read. You bring more business to your business. This is, if you've ever been to a workshop or you bought a magazine off a newsstand, this is really the headline for your entire message that you're sending. It is the point at the end of the spear that will get people's attention to read your material. Everything else can be brilliant. You can have super campaigns, you can have super content, you can have all this material, but if the subject line is not embracing and it doesn't get read, there's no action taken. So more than 1/3 of people open their emails based on their subject line. That is 33% of the game. It is very, very important to be able to do that. A smartphone is a mobile inbox here. If you have not already heard this, okay, or seen this, I think today it's 53% of emails are opened on a smartphone device. And this is not going away, it's going up and up and up. You can go into your analytics and you can actually see your own exact statistics. I've seen it as low as 20, maybe 22%. I've seen it as high as 80%. Occasionally somebody will say, yeah, here it is, 53%. I've heard people say, oh, well, that's the younger folks who are on the smartphone. We are not seeing that at all. One of my biggest clients, Vanguard Motor Cars, they sell muscle cars to guys who are about 5 or 10 years older than I am, who grew up in the 60s and 70s, Mustangs, GTOs, etc. And we're seeing 60, 70% of these guys opening them up. It's just easier. My parents are in their 80s. They can hold their phones easier than walking over to a computer or opening a Yellow Pages. So this is vital to consider what that's doing. It's also where people are at. On average, people are checking their phones 150 times a day. It's a nervous reaction. It happens because a lot of people, here, I'm still old school. I have it off right now, but I'll wear a watch. But a number of people just look at their smartphones looking to see what time it is. By the way, email is the #1 app used on a smartphone. Today's agenda, why subject lines are so important. I think I've given you a good indication of that. How to write good ones. That's part of my favorite part here. Consider desktop and mobile, how these are being communicated, and how people actually take action. Because at the end of the day here, we want your business, your institutes to be more successful, for you to make more money, attract, and get more out of your career. Why subject lines are so important here. An email that isn't opened is not effective. It's like a newspaper, the old days Yellow Page ad. If people are not opening them, they're not getting delivered. It will not help you at all. It's either now or later. There's 3 little rules that will help you out. Now, later, or never. 3 reasons they'll open your email. They'll recognize who it's from. This is really important when you set up your account. The #1 thing is who the sender is. So if you look at your email, or even if you look who's calling, or you look at the front door, and if you recognize the person as either somebody favorably, that your caller ID on your phone, that is the #1 thing. So when you have your business and you have your account set up, consider who it's coming from. So if it's coming from the University of Miami, for example, great, have it come from the University of Miami. If it's coming from the dean or for somebody else, then you may want to change who the sender is if there's a rapport and a relationship. I have my emails come from Derek Freund at Road Marketing Systems, because I am the founder of my particular company, and a lot of people recognize my name, my personal name, rather than my business name. Prior to being on this, some of you have been on probably a dozen of my webinars. Prior to being this, people didn't know who Derek Freund is. Constant Contact was the lead-in. So recognize who the sender is. Additional emails will come from me, by the way. Who sent it? Convenient timing. When is it being received? We have a great new analytical tool. Again, I'm not a big high-tech person, but consider the timing. In just a few years ago, people would sometimes close up their email at 5 o'clock on a Friday and not look at it till 8:30 or 9 on a Monday morning. Anymore, whether it's business or personal emails, people are checking them around the clock. So consider the timing and when people are most likely to take action. And you can test this here. Compelling subject lines are worth reading. I think we'll all agree with that. We constantly have a battle of priorities. This isn't a workshop that has a lot of notes, but this is worth taking some notes on here. 2 seconds, 2 significant words, and what they're going to do today. Now, everybody will argue that, oh, well, I'll have the emails and I'll go back and read them later. Statistics prove that 80% of the action, the results you're going to have, are going to be within the first 6 hours of sending the emails. That doesn't mean the other 20% are not that significant, but you really need to get people's action, get them to act immediately for best results. And the words are what are compelling. So why should they open the email? Identify your purpose. Be clear, be clever, not too clever. It depends on your market, and I'm going to show some interesting examples here. But you want to be able to use some, in copywriting, we call it teaser copy. So teaser text, What is your teaser? Here the example is it's coming from Half Moon Yoga and it's acro yoga at 10,000 feet. You in? So it's something that's unique. 10,000, what's happening at this height? And you're in. It's a question mark. It's provocative. This can be confusing. Well, you want to avoid spammy terms. And there's any number of words. Certainly any bad language is not professional and not appropriate, but that will get spammed out. People don't like that, even if it did get through. Misspelled words will get avoided. People do not like that. Although there's that Nigerian prince scam, but it's a scam. The free, all capitalization, too many explanation points. You do not, you want to be very, very careful about that. So if you say urgent, just say urgent once, not all caps, urgent, urgent, urgent. People do not react well, and their spam filters will filter you out, so it won't even get delivered in most of the instances. How to write good ones. This can make or break an email here. A good subject line, you want to follow the two principles, 2 words, not literally only 2 words, but today and what action people will take. What will drive people to some action? You can have sales, events, fundraising participation, and subscription participation. These are all events that you can do, but it's also just keeping top of awareness with your best subscribers and your best prospects. How are you identifying yourself? How are you communicating? Standout subject lines are emails are opened. General principles, if you want to have about 4 to 7 words. I like taking a word, I use word, and I like saying subject line, colon, and then I'll write out 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different subject lines based on what the rest of the message is. And some of you are writing your own emails. Other times you have other people who are writing these for you and you're implementing them. So you want to really get the essence of what the message is within the event. So consider the time of the word. What's attractive about that? Offers, discount, gifts, a deadline, limited enrollment. Deadline is the 15th. What's going to inspire somebody to take action? You only have 6 hours left. Keep it clean and mobile friendly. Brand identity, incorporate yours. This is also really important who the sender is from. I've seen some people where they say XYZ Chamber of Commerce, and then their subject line says message from Chamber of Commerce. Well, it's totally redundant. You see who it's from. You see. So if it's coming from the Chamber of Commerce, you may want to then say open house night, deadline, awards ceremony, have you been nominated, ? And something that intrigues there that's not redundant with what you're saying. So identify your brand, but don't repeat what the reader already knows. Air of mystery can raise interest. I've got some funny examples coming up here. Ask questions to make people think. We have a really good one. Client of ours has a dance studio for pretty much single retirees. And the big question is, are you in this picture? And it was interesting because most everybody who was on the list had attended that event, and just eliciting this question, are you in this picture, about doubled his open rate. Create an urgency. The words don't miss out can be very, very important. And this is not an age or any type of business. Institutions, fundraising events, people who sell orthopedic equipment, there are limitations. There are deadlines. There's people who sell Ferraris. There's only so many of these things going around. So don't think that whatever you sell needs to have an unlimited capacity, because usually it doesn't, or there's some limitation that will motivate people to read, inspire, buy, invest, etc. Entertain, warm information, share knowledge. Literary techniques, we're going to show you some examples, and these are cool. It's not like being back in 8th or 9th grade, though. This is more fun. Top 3 reasons, top 5 priorities, top 7 concerns. These are coming at you fast. 9 best tips and tricks, 7. It seems that odd numbers work better than even numbers. There's some psychological reason. I'm not concerned exactly why, but about the odd numbers that people will remember better when they look at this. They want to answer the unanswered question. What's 3 reasons? What's 3 things you don't know? Here's an example here. Top appeal. 7 must-haves for the fall. Sense of urgency. Only 12 seats left. Get yours before midnight. A great call to action. I also like to say, have you RSVP'd yet? If you have an event and you use the event module, I like people to, it's basic sales training. Yeses are great. Clear no's are okay too. Maybes are the killer. So you can set up your email by saying, please respond yes or no. So please respond, and you can say, quote, why or no, question mark. Please respond today. And then your email can say, thank you very much. I appreciate we have this sale. We have this open house where we have this event. Will you be attending? And they can click yes, or they can click no. That specific decision, even if it's no, will drive like 2 or 3 times more people to actually say yes. It's also very respectful because people understand their opinion matters. Whether they'll be attending is significant. Personalize what you need to know about personal finances. That's a good message for a financial planner, an accountant, CPA. Questions. How can we help your business grow? It's customer service oriented. An exclusive offer just for you. It can be for a VIP membership or an exclusive group. 13 signs you're budgeting wrong. Very provocative. Here's some literary techniques. This is great. Onomatopoeia. It's actually one I remember from school pretty well. Boom, crackle, pop, words that sound like they are. Bang, kapow, gets people's interest. Illusion, we're being crafty back. Pretty cool. I don't tend to use a lot of those, but that can work for you. Work that into your repertoire. 7 simple solutions to saving. Chunking, Lions, Tigers, and the Springfield Bears. Oh my. That could be a sports team, zoo, mascot that maybe you have within your office. Numbers, 13 ways you're killing your credit score. So when you put together your checklist, and by the way, brainstorming like we're doing now, I hope you're writing down some ideas. If you have this list of subject lines, you can use these and rearrange yours. Also keep in mind, for mobile friendly, you're going to have your pre-header text, and using a subject line in your pre-header text, which is what's seen in a mobile device, is a great way of alternating those. And so one thing you can do is alternate those. You can test to see which one has a better open rate. And if something is your second choice, use that as your pre-header text. And over a period of time, you can find if you do this on a regular basis, you can even use themes that you use over and over again for not within the same days or weeks or even months, but from year to year. If you have a summer sale, fall, spring, etc., you can reuse these concepts and they work well. By the way, Western movies, science fiction, you see these concepts being reused, retold over and over again. So maybe for a June promotion, you use onomatopoeia. Another time you use illusions, different examples of doing this. So splish splash, ka-ching, ka-ching, the savings are yours. That's what you're going to feel in your bank account. That's how your business is going to grow. Who let the dogs out? Pet shop. Now this one you got to be careful with because this one's a little bit longer than most. A lot of times these can get truncated off, but let's say it's only showing who let the dogs out. That probably stands alone just fine. But if this was reversed and you had pet shops this Saturday, well, that would work too. But sometimes you see these and when they get truncated, they don't work as well or they're just confusing and people click off. Fido's got 99 problem, but fleas ain't one. That's cute from a song, popular song. Make mom's mornings miraculous. That has a good alliteration. Make mom's mornings miraculous. Pete's Pizza Parlor. Pete speaking. I like that. Cards, candy, and one cozy couch. Yeah, that's good. Summer camp 2016. New archery, fencing, and sailing. That's pretty cute. Kids love it. Parents dream about it. Registration is open. That's worked well for church organization or camp. 3 can't miss summer festivals. 16 brands that only one Miranda and only one Miranda Lambert. Okay, so a celebrity drive. What would you change? our monthly tax newsletter. There's still, oh my gosh, there's some good stuff out there, but it's like our weekly newsletter, our weekly update. And they use these subject lines over and over again with the assumption, well, our readers are different. They just want the content. That might be what they tell you, but they're going to be better if they're motivated, if they're stimulated, if there's something provocative. So our monthly tax newsletter sounds a little boring. New product arrival, it's a little warmer here. Get a free Apple Watch. That's good. Here we take our monthly tax newsletter and we say 3 overlooked tax deductions you may qualify for. There's a benefit. There's a benefit. There's an incentive for somebody doing this. Sweet dreams are made of cheese. You own a cheese shop or a restaurant. That's more provocative. Apple Watch. Want one? Actually, even get the free Apple Watch is good. That was good there. Finding inspiration. Where do you come up with ideas? Well, you're here and you can look at my PowerPoint, you can talk to me. These are a great place to do. But when you want to think outside the box, check the news. Great copywriter Robert Collier wrote decades ago, enter the conversation that is going on inside a person's mind. So think about the holidays that are coming up, whether the time of the year, is it school's out for summer? Is it back to school? Is it fall weather? Is it holiday season? What's going on in terms of people's minds, and how does that relate to your product or service? Check the news, magazine headlines and covers. Look at what others are doing. It's okay, look at what your competitors are doing. Look at what not your competitors are, well, look at your competitors, but also look at similar businesses that sell the same products or service. So for example, complementary items. A health food store may also look to see what health clubs and gym memberships and best-selling books on health and nutrition are. A lot of it is the same audience, but it's non-competitive. It's complementary. Vitamins, nutrition, working out, health food, and health and nutrition books. Interesting way, veterinarian, and pet supply stores. So see what others are doing. Other non-related businesses, what are they doing right? Search results headlines, blog titles. I've got a good example for you coming up, successthread.com. Tweets, Twitter with lots of engagement. What's trending? What are people seeing? Lexicals, you can curiously click what the headlines are like. BuzzFeed, Upworthy, Mashable, these are all popular blogs. Write this down. Success Thread is written by a very good friend of mine, Vitaly Grinbelet, and his emails are read. He writes under his own name, but he also writes for a number of marketing services, and literally every year, millions of his emails are sent and read. And this is just a couple of his headlines here. The ultimate rejection, ever been kicked in the teeth, that guy will never make it, MMF up. Funny thing about that story, that really wasn't even intended to be, quote, the F-bomb. That was intended to be monthly meeting follow-up, but it was just written in a hurry. It turned out people's mind went in the gutter and they assumed something else, and then they read an otherwise very productive email. It was an honest mistake, but it turned into be a brilliant example. Not every business can use that, not every charitable organization, but it can be edgy and it can work well. Getting chased by a red light district hooker. That was a funny, true story that actually happened on his honeymoon. Running towards bullets, 3 months to live. It gets people questioning, and it's a storytelling process. Brilliant at it. You look at what he's doing, you adopt it for your business. That's successthread.com. Nothing in it for me, just a great shout out to Vitaly. Consider desktops and mobile. This again is where people are at. You cannot ignore it. And here's really the great thing, guys. In the workshops that I'll do, sometimes people will ask, but how much does that cost? Is that extra? And I'll say, well, to go, for example, mobile friendly, it's only an extra $200 a month. And the punchline is, it's not $200 a month. It's zero extra to do that. You just need to know to do it. Have somebody like me or my company set it up for you. You can pay constant so it's not 200. It would be worth it if you could double your open rate. It would be worth it, but that's not the case. So 76% of people read emails on their smartphone. 67% of B2B workers view on. So don't think, oh, well, I'm sending just business to business. They're not looking at them on their smartphones. They are. I've got a business. I look at more than half of mine on my smartphone. We are reading them on there. 64% of key decision makers read their emails on their mobile devices. They could be in the bathroom. They could be waiting in the line to the doctor's office. They are thinking, they are making important decisions to be able to do that. Always make sure to follow mobile design best practices. This is what I consider a plumbing issue. It's not based on your creativity. It's not based on the subject line. It's just making sure the parts are in the right place. Once you have the template set up, you can keep using the template over and over again. It will save you about 50–60% of your time. It will make sure that it's mobile friendly. It will make sure that all the appropriate links are in there. Go see my workshop on webinar on mobile friendly. I get more into specifics on that, but make sure all your checklist is taken care of. So use single columns, your logo on the left or hyperlink. This is a constant. I actually disagree with having the logo on the left and the click-throughs. 90% of our population is right-handed. Now, my wife and 2 of our 3 children are left-handed, so I dig the community. I think they're brilliant. I think it's fantastic. However, most right-handed people are actually holding their phone in their left hand. Did that flash go off? Are holding it in their left hand, and if you have the links on the left hand, that can unintentionally have people distract. So I tend to recommend to put the links and the activity things on the right-hand side. Your preferences may be different, but give some consideration to what you're doing. Use your brand and apply your colors. Great strategy. Anything online, you can match the color. We have a free download on my website, or you go to colorcop.com. You can use an eye-dropping tool. You do not have to be a master in Photoshop or any of these. Just a free little tool. I won't do it now, but you take the eyedropper, and if you want to match that color, you can match that perfectly. So use your brand colors repeatedly. Minimum of 12-point font in the body. This is not always the case, but in the text, use typically 12-point, and your headlines 22-point, and your calls to action. That's going to make you safe 80–90% of the time. And customize the pre-header text. That is what people are seeing in the mobile devices, the pre-header. And these you can alternate with your subject line. It's really another chance for your subject line. So if you have big sale starts tomorrow, and then your pre-header text is limited supply of names, etc. Maybe the next time you send it out, you reverse those two. But realize, don't ignore that because you're missing out on a great opportunity to communicate. Take a look at this here. This is a case study with an exercise, BOSU exercise ball here. And I was brought in here not to do any of the creative work here, but to just make sure it was mobile friendly here. Using a standard message, they were having just slightly over a 21% open rate, which is good. That put them about 3 or 4% ahead of the industry average. However, we changed that to a mobile friendly template, and it went up to 34.5. It went up statistically by, well, some people will say only 14%, but that actually, to go from 21 to about 35%, represented about a 50% increase on eyes doing that. Now the call to action, the clicks went from 10% to 34.5%. Okay, huge difference in being able to do that here. Double, tripled their sales just by getting that right. So pay attention to that detail. Preview pane and pre-header. What does the email look like on your desktop? Look at a snippet there. And what does it look like in a mobile device? In our new generations that are coming along, you're going to be able to see the matchup, what it's typically going to look like on a desktop. That is what you see, but you also want to look at it in your smartphone device to be able to see that and look through it at the eyes of your recipient will really help. Some people miss out on that. They just kind of punch in the information and and they don't really think about the end user. You are not typically your best customer. You know your business, you know your information, but somebody who's using it as a consumer, you want to make sure they're getting access to that and the words are right. Pre-header text is the first line of the text above your logo, best seen on mobile devices. We went over that. Here's a great example here. Start building trust. Put that communication in there. Preview pane on your desktop. Look at a sample there. Here's the senders here. The comm coach tip, make a great first impression. Start building trust with your emails. Start building trust. This is what people say, if that is simpatico here. So let's do some brainstorming here, what you can use in your business. This is some that I've done actually for my clients in the last week or so. Different ideas. Take action, save big. Don't say I didn't warn you. Edna almost crapped her pants. Now that's a little bit provocative, but this could lead into a story about what happened years ago. It's going to get opened in most cases. Are you in this picture? Works very well. Please RSVP today. I'm concerned your name's not on this list. If you have a relationship with your readers and you legitimately say, you don't want to overuse this, but if you say, I'm concerned your name's not on the list, people are going to go, oh, Derek is concerned. And legitimate good motive to do this. Or you say only 1% will be able to take advantage of this. Save now. Home office wants to kill me. Save now before the boss gets back. Save now before my accountant finds out. Oh, mommy, you'll cry if you miss this one. Don't read this unless. There should have been a less ... there. A story about the bigger fool. Bigger fool stories, 5 ways to save. There's a way of combining those. Locker room talk revealed. Women's locker room talk revealed. Ostrich head in the sand, not you. My mother-in-law thinks I'm an idiot. At first my friends laughed. That's a famous copyright ad there. Story about before and after. How I saved my friend $4,100. True story, by the way. It wasn't just $4,100 once, but it was $41 every year for 4 years. Size matters. Keep it clear, make it clever, and keep it short. Look at your notes here again. When I set mine up in a Word document, I'll write the text and then I'll highlight it and I'll count the words and I'll count the number of characters that are involved. So if you look 30 to 40 characters, 6 to 11 words best fit, 4 to 7 has the greatest response. Custom size your pre-header, the length of the word here, and keep in mind that that's in a mobile friendly environment and it gives you that second shot of actually being able to include another provocative line. And the more you work with words, the more you become crafty in using these, the more you want to be able to use these. But creativity tends to go in snippets. So write these things down, take advantage of them while the creativity and your memory is fresh and everything is clear. Write them down, and having a catalog of even a dozen, even 6 or 8 is a great start. Later you may want to have 40 or 50 or 60 to be able to use. Moving on here, you have your campaign. This is a way that you can test these, and we've thrown a lot of information at you here. And you want to be able to make sure to label your campaign, especially if you're sending sequential emails. So when you get creative, sometimes we're not thinking about the house cleaning components of doing this. So write down the time that you're sending this, the campaign, and the date so that you can follow up. So if you follow up saying news in 2 days, that you know to actually follow up in 2 days. Save your message as a draft. Then go back and check the success of your headlines. Actually see the emails that you're going and what your open rate are and what your click rate is. Now, take a look at this. 50% open rate, in this example here, there was only 5 people sent. That's unusually high. Again, 20% is the average. I have clients who are hitting 35, 40%, but that's with focus list and a lot of attention. So, but keep track of what the open rate is, what the click-through rate, and then even the bounce-through rate. 28% is way too high. Um, you shouldn't experience more than a 1 or 2% bounce rate in any given month. Little hint, go through, check those emails, see if they need to be updated, and also remove those from your system because you will pay for those as part of your total email list. So you can save yourself some money and audit that by, most importantly, updating your contact list. Call those people, follow up to see why there's a bounce rate in there, and either update those or remove those. You want to brainstorm 3 versions, test on your mobile device, consider the preview pane, and then monitor your results, because at the end of the day, this is all about results. And oftentimes when I work with somebody or coach somebody that's taken over account, somebody has maybe used Constant Contact or their email service for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then they get involved and they're all intimidated. They go, I don't know how to use this, and this other person, they were so smart and they do this. Well, people, and I'm saying if you've got a lot of experience, you can tend to get lazy, or if you're taking over an account, look at what your predecessor did right. Also look at what they did wrong. Look at perhaps redundancies or things where they were not being creative, and just changing to the mobile and getting creative with the headlines can really, really up your progress. It's important to be a marketer. Think of yourself as a marketer. Put your chief marketing officer hat and be consistent in what you're doing and do it. One of my heroes is Bruce Lee, great martial artist, movie star, passed away over 40 years ago at too young an age. But he said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. So now's the time to take action here. I have a special offer here. We're not here to give you a sales pitch. I'm sure you've taken a lot of notes. We want you to apply everything that you have here. We've got one offer you can pay for if you like, and a free offer here. These are both essentially the same here. 2 offers. One, if you're new to Constant Contact, and we used to have offers, me, that were only for new subscribers. And then somebody said, look, I've been subscribing, I've been a client for a long time. What do I get? And I thought, well, that's only fair. That's only fair. Let's give as good an offer to somebody who's a veteran who's been using this a long time. So I'll focus on this. If you want a mobilized template here, home office charges $197. Occasionally they'll do it $97. We do it for only $47. If you already have one, that's great. We can set up a newsletter, a sales promotion, feedback survey, or do something else. Upgrade yours. I think we do a very, very good job at these, because not only do we know the technical component, but we're in the field and we're using these every day for ourselves and for our clients. For free, okay, now this you do not need to buy anything here. You'll get a contact list upload, a report 60 ways to grow your list presentation download. That's a follow-up. Then you can schedule a 30-minute, and you need to do that today or tomorrow, a 30-minute screen share session with me. Now, we can do a screen share, or we can do this. This is not a sales presentation. It's because we really don't have time for Q&A today. Q&A also, I get concerned because I know so many people on the call. It's like calling into a radio talk show. There's general advice to give, and then there's specific advice to give. And I found sometimes I can give very good specific information to a friend or a client, but it doesn't apply to 90% of the people who are listening either during or after the event. So this is my time to get to know you one-on-one. It is limited to 30 minutes, but bring your A game, and you will get a follow-up email here, or right now go to roguemarketingsystems.com/contact here. And if you go here we prefer you go to the Constant Contact first call, click right there. This one here isn't live, but you'll see my appointment calendar. Just put your name in there, pick a day and a time that works for you. You have to do that either today or tomorrow, but pick a time either this week or next that works for you best. And I will call you at that allotted time, and we're going to go to work. You can write me a little note. My email address is also there, but you can write me a little note that you're looking for something specific or you want me to look at your website. I'll be happy to do that. This is how we make friends. This is how we generate business, and we keep our promise that we want to be able to deliver a minimum of $300 worth of value to you. Here's the contact list that you can find at Rogue Marketing Systems. And again here, the $47, that's an offer. That's not a pitch. You schedule the call whether you talk with me or not. But if I do have people say, hey, I want to be able to get this if I do want to buy something, that's kind of a no-brainer offer here. If you already have that, if you're all set, take advantage of the other things. I won't list all of those, but over all these years here, we found 7 of the most frequently missed profit opportunities. We can brainstorm your subject lines. It's something that I really enjoy going over. So take a look at that. Question to ask is, did we get better today? Are you improved? You're going to get a copy of this presentation. You have the chance to talk to me. How are you thinking about your email communication? What are you doing with your subject lines? Have you been creatively inspired? Will you put this to use? Because knowing is not enough. That's not the end game here. So look forward from the email from us. If you want to take action right away, go to roguemarketingsystems.com, schedule an appointment, and I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you in person, live in the next day or two. Derek Freund, Rogue Marketing Systems. God bless, be passionate about your business, and let's work as a team together. Thank you very much.